September 2020 was finally the month that I found R.O.B the Robot and a ton of other cool gaming stuff. Hey Nintendo fans and collectors, Lithium here from my channel Nintendo Collecting. I'm really excited for this pickup video because, like I said, R.O.B the Robot is something I've been after for over a decade. It's probably been something more like 12 years. I've been trying to find R.O.B the Robot locally so I didn't have to pay for shipping, and I found it for a pretty good deal with all of the accessories. So this video, I'm going to go through over 20 games that I got. I got a few systems, some various other cool Nintendo items like figurines and stuff like that. But first of all, I have to talk about this R.O.B the Robot. By the way, these little accessories are extremely hard to find, so when I finally saw this locally, it was maybe half an hour outside of where I live, I jumped on the opportunity. I still want to find one in the box, so I'm going to probably try and get the NES set that has R.O.B the Robot, and I'll just buy that empty box, because this set came with almost everything, by the way, even the discs. The discs that say Nintendo on them, and the discs have these little protective covers on them that I'll show you in a moment for using R.O.B the Robot. So this little guy here, I spent 200 Canadian, so around, I think, $140 to $150 American. It does come with Gyromite, so I have the instruction manual for it and the game in really good condition, but this game's a pretty common game. It's R.O.B the Robot, that's the rare thing to get. The cool thing that this came with, though, is the instructions and everything like it. So not only do I get the instructions in really good shape, let me just pull them out of the bag that it came with. So there you go. I'm going to probably do a fuller video just about R.O.B the Robot, especially once I get the box for the NES R.O.B the Robot edition. This also comes with a few other things. So those little discs have these protective sleeves that go on them. So now I have like those complete, by the way. So they would go just on top of those. There's one for each of them because there's two discs. You can see one in the background over there. And I also, for some reason, have a Fixing R.O.B the Robot like CD that it came with just in case there's any problems. Now, R.O.B the Robot has some accessories that kind of clip onto the side. So each of these accessories, you can buy them individually on eBay. They go anywhere from like $20 to $50 just for the accessories, but this guy does power on. I'm just going to let him play out just for a second, see how slow this is. It also sounds fantastic. So he would reach over, he would grab something in the game. So he works, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Because finding a working R.O.B the Robot, a lot of them do work over time, but even finding these little hands, the clasps for the hands right here, even these can be pretty expensive because sometimes people lost them eventually. So he does move up, he moves down, he's fully operational. Finding him for less than $150 locally, that sounds like a lot of money. However, I think something like this is going up in value over time. So I didn't buy it originally 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and I'm going to be kicking myself that I didn't. So I thought, now that I found it locally, don't have to pay for shipping. The guy had quite a bit of stuff, so I was just really happy and excited to finally get R.O.B the Robot. So I'm going to leave him throughout this video, I think, just kind of to the side while I talk about all the other items. And like I said, I think I'll do a better video for R.O.B the Robot once I get the box and I can do a more comprehensive look. Next up, I want to talk about this gaming mouse. This is a wireless mouse. If you've been following my channel, I have mentioned that I'm making a Super Nintendo desk/table that will be adjustable in height. It's going to be the desk in my Nintendo room, and I've been looking for a Super Nintendo mouse that plays on your PC. It's either USB or it could be wireless, and I can't find it. Of course, there's the mouse that works with Mario Paint, but eventually, just by looking online, I found this one, and of course it's themed after the NES. It's not themed after the Super Nintendo. It does work quite well, just it's not really worthy. I don't think it's maybe worthy of an entire video on its own because it's so simplistic. So you open it up, and this is all it is. You take this out of the packaging, and inside of here is where the USB thing is. So actually, I was a little confused about why this wouldn't connect. But right here is what you connect into your computer for the USB. I was even reading some of the reviews online. It's like it didn't even come with it. It does take one battery, so just note that you do need the battery. You turn it on and off. There is the two buttons here, the left and the right, and then in between here, it does read your movement with using your finger. Kind of like a scroll pad, but it's a little bit awkward to use. And then on the side, there's a D-pad, which is used for like page up, page down, and page back and page forward. So it's not perfect. I would say this works pretty well. You're not going to use this as an actual gaming mouse, which is kind of ironic that I'm saying that you wouldn't use it as a gaming mouse, but I think it works really well for what I'm looking to do. So I was going to actually paint this the colors of the Super Nintendo just so that I could actually use it on the Super Nintendo desk, but I don't think I will. I'll probably just leave it as is, so that's a pretty cool pickup. It's something like $20 to $30, and you can probably find that on eBay still. Alright, let's get into a lot of the games that I picked up. So other than Gyromite, on the NES, I also picked up another game on the NES, so maybe let me just see if I can stack these right here. Another thing I picked up on the NES was World Class Track Meet, and this is not that exciting. However, this is what's exciting. Here is the box for the Power Pad. So this is the original box. The Power Pad itself is hard to fit into the box now, it's 2020. So this is the giant power pad that you would use. And some of the videos for Angry Video Game Nerd, he's been using this, and it is a really cool item that I never had in my collection. I don't think I'm actually going to game with it all that often. It doesn't work flawlessly. It kind of is something that's more of a novelty at this point. So this is made by Mattel. It works with several games, not just World Class Track Meet. It says here it works with a few other games. I think it says Super Team Games and Dance Aerobics, but is that actually in World Class Track Meet? I don't know if those are separate games. I haven't heard of Dance Aerobics as its own game. It's probably already on this cartridge. It does work with some others as well, and I think I paid for this about $15, $15 US dollars. So that was kind of really neat. Let's just leave that in the background. So that's another NES game to add and maybe even try out, not just have in my collection, but play. Sticking with the NES just for a moment, I got the Zapper. This is the instruction manual for the Zapper. I already have the Zapper in the box, but it doesn't have the instruction manual, so I bought this for like $5. I thought, yep, that's worth it. That's the right price. And then some boxed NES games. So this is exciting. I don't get these very often. This is Wizards and Warriors 3. It is the most expensive game out of the four I'm about to talk about, I think. But I bought all four of these kind of in a bundle, so they were like around $20 each. Some of them, that's a good price, some of them it's a little bit high. So this one's in pretty good shape. All of them have protective covering. The price of this was 50 Canadian, but in the bundle we got it as a better deal, or I got it as a better deal. Then Bubble Bobble, a really, really popular arcade game that I remember playing a ton of. So I think this game is something, I'm pretty sure I played this in the arcade. There was one near my university, and I used to just, while I was waiting for pizza, they kind of had an arcade machine, unless I'm mistaken. So I picked up this one as well for around 20 bucks each. Then two Yoshi games. Yoshi, now this one is not the best game in my opinion because it's not what I expected out of a Yoshi game. This is a puzzle game. So if you like puzzle games, this will be okay, but a lot of people prefer Tetris or Tetris Attack over the game Yoshi. There's even Kirby Avalanche. Then there's Yoshi's Cookie. So this is another game, of course, in the puzzle series, except it deals with a lot of cookies, and they have Yoshi as the main character on this. You can kind of see Mario is featured in the game a little bit in the top corner right there as well. So 20 bucks each, some complete in box, pretty good condition NES games, definitely worth it. Just going to maybe stack these over here. And then following up the NES, we're going to jump a little bit ahead, skip over the Super Nintendo, because I don't have any Super Nintendo pickups this video, but I do have a Conker's Bad Fur Day box. So I paid $35. Again, all the prices I'm listing are in US dollars, kind of converted from Canadian. This is just the cardboard box. I already have the manual, I already have the card. Actually, this is the cardboard box and the one insert from Club Nintendo, for Nintendo Power rather. Not for Club Nintendo, but for Nintendo Power. So now I have a complete in-box Conker's Bad Fur Day. I would say this box is more like a 6 out of 10. So eventually maybe I want to find an even better box than this one and then swap this one out in a trade. I was just really desperate when I found this locally to get this at all, and normally the box is probably going for at least double what I paid. So 30, 35 bucks for this with the insert. I thought that was definitely worth picking up. We have Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. I already had the cartridge for this. So this is a box in almost mint condition. When this came in, I thought it was in mint shape, or it looked really close to it, and then I started like turning it with the light, and you can probably see that there's a crease right here by my thumb along this, but otherwise this is in really good shape. I have a lot of nostalgia for playing the Tony Hawk games. I used to play them growing up, and I love that they were remastered in HD. So not only did I get the box for Tony Hawk 2, I also got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 Complete in box. I was missing the cartridge for this one. This is the most expensive of the Tony Hawk games on the N64. So for this one, I think I paid... Oh yeah, by the way, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, just the box of the manual. I think that was around 30 bucks. And I know I'm paying $30 for cardboard, but I'm a collector. I really want them complete. This one, I think it was around $60, and that was a decent deal. Again, the box is not mints. It's in pretty good shape. This does come complete with everything. I think the cartridge for this one is black, which is one of those unique different colored cartridges on the system. Love the Tony Hawk games. Those are the three, but keep in mind, on the N64, those are the three. Keep in mind that Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 also came out on the GameCube, and it's much more affordable on that. I picked up Excitebike 64, complete in box. I already have the cartridge, but this one I got complete in the box. I think this was around $15. It's in really good shape. This is a fantastic game series, but the games are always really inexpensive. So it's an easy game to kind of find, and I don't know why I didn't have that in my collection already. Next up is Yoshi's Story. I had the cartridge only for, but this is complete. This one was more expensive. I think this one was closer to $70 or $80, and it's in really good condition. So I can sell off the cartridge that I already have, and that one I'm probably going to sell for like $35 to $40. So when everything's said and done, I'm getting the cartridge. I'm getting a cartridge upgrade because mine's not in the best condition. The box, the manual, the instructions, any inserts for around $40 after I sell off my own copy. So really interesting game when you play through this. There's so many different branching paths and it's highly replayable. After the N64, of course, we have the Nintendo GameCube. First up is Resident Evil Code Veronica. I featured this in my top 25 most expensive GameCube games that I just did. There's a link in the top right-hand corner if you're interested to see that as a card. So this game is extremely hard to find. It's probably the rarest Resident Evil game on the GameCube. I'd say Resident Evil 2 is the next rarest, and then probably Resident Evil 3. Resident Evil 4 is probably the best, though. So I was happy to find this one, again, locally. I'm trying to hunt locally to save on shipping and import fees. I don't want to pay those ridiculous costs if I can find them, plus no taxes when you're paying in cash or when you're doing e-transfers. So I think this one was around $70 to $80 as well. Definitely not a great deal. I was just so desperate to get this because it's the last game I need to have a complete set in my collection for all of the Resident Evil games on the Nintendo GameCube. So that's why I picked up this one. Following, still on the GameCube, we have a big box game. This is Batman. I hope I don't pronounce this incorrectly for any huge Batman fans. Rise of Sin Shu. So this is the lithograph commemorative edition. It's one of the big box GameCube games. There's only so many of these. We also have, of course, the ones from Mario Party 6, Mario Party 7, The Legend of Zelda. That one is the Four Swords Adventures. Then there is this, and then there's some dance games that have some big box variations, and in other areas of the world, there are other big box variations, and there's also Odama. I think Odama has one on the... It does, for sure, because I have it in my collection. I remember that now. So I want to get all the big box GameCube games before they get way too expensive. There's also the 2-pack games that have, like, Super Monkey Ball 1 and 2, or Sonic in them, and they're crazy expensive. So this one has a price tag of $50 on it, and I actually paid, I think, $37 with shipping for this and the lithograph. So really happy to add that to my collection, just trying to get ahead of the game before all these big box items become really crazy expensive. 2 more games for the GameCube. These are Need for Speed games, which I did play Need for Speed Most Wanted, and then this is Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2. There's also Need for Speed Carbon, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 1 on the GameCube. I think there's 4 of them, maybe there's more. These are just my personal kind of games that I like to play that are kind of like a guilty pleasure, that a lot of people would say, like, they're not great games, but they're kind of entertaining. I like the soundtrack, I like the racing experience in the games, and I don't know if they got better over time. I felt like with Carbon I had a really good time, and Most Wanted I had a good time. It just depends on your type of racing game that you enjoy, because they're nothing like Mario Kart. Let me know if you actually enjoy the Need for Speed series, because it's pretty popular, I think, overall. Following the GameCube, of course, there's a Nintendo Wii. Really happy to pick up a few games locally that I needed, like NBA Jam, going all the way back to the Super Nintendo. This is like a remake of that game. It has better graphics on it. It is a blast. It's really cheap to pick up on the Wii right now. It's probably something that you could find for $10 or less if you really hunt. I would recommend it if you're into basketball or if you're into sports games. Another game that I had in my collection, and I guess I left this at my wife's house, or she was playing it, you know, at her parents' house at some point. So I went back there and found this and put it back in our collection. So Endless Ocean, it's been in my videos before for my entire room tour collection videos. It just hasn't been in it for at least a year because it's been at that house. And then a game on the Wii U that I've been searching for. This is Mario and Sonic at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games. I just did my Mario collection video for Mario's 35th anniversary, and you guys let me know that I definitely have to find this one. Since I bought this on eBay for $28 with shipping, I think, I found 2 of them locally that same week, and that really hurt. They were a little bit more expensive locally, but I wouldn't have had to pay for shipping or anything like that. So it was crazy that I haven't found this game yet. And then I found it once online, bought it, and then twice in person in the same week. So definitely, I think that's one of the harder games to find on the Wii U. Not rare on the Wii U, just a little bit harder to find. Switching gears over to Handheld. Really quickly, I got Tetris. I had this, I thought, for the original Game Boy, that it came in the box that my buddy Jordan gave me because he gave me the original Game Boy box. But I opened it up and there was no Tetris in there and I can't find it anywhere in my collection. So I bought this for $5 locally, and I'm not sure if I ever mentioned that before in a video. So that was just a pretty quick little cool item. And then I found this Zelda Edition Nintendo DS. So this one is usually something that's really cool to find complete in the box. Anything that's Zelda themed goes up in value usually over time. This one still has the gold little insert for the Game Boy Advance slot. For the stylus though, it is missing, so I'm after a gold stylus that matches this console. So I was able to find this. It did come with a charger, and it was really cheap. I think it was around $30 when I bought this locally, and I thought, yeah, that's something I could trade and people would definitely want in their collections as well. So why not pick up that? Sticking with the DS, I was able to find Super Princess Peach. This game probably should have been in my Mario collection video. It's kind of a Mario spin-off game. You have Mario right there on the cover. It is interesting that Peach gets her own playable game only once and never again since this on the Nintendo DS. So this was around $25. It's exactly the right price for, in my opinion, complete. You can probably find it for a little bit of a better deal, but once I found it locally, I was like, I'm definitely picking this up because I've been after that for a really long time to add to my DS collection. Also on the Nintendo DS, actually the Nintendo 3DS, we have 2 Pokemon bigger boxes that I probably showed off in a different Pokemon video. These 2 come with bonus keychains inside. They are just the empty boxes. So I am after the keychains, and the games themselves did not come in these, so I bought these off eBay. I think they were $20 with free shipping, so it was worth it to me to get these because, again, anything bigger boxed, especially Pokemon games bigger boxed, and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon aren't that old yet, so they haven't gone up in value that much. So I'm looking for the keychains, and I'm hopefully trying to complete those. Let me know if you ever do this. You just buy, like, the box because you find it for a deal, and then you're after, like, trying to hunt down all the other pieces to make something complete. Sticking with the 3DS, in a bundle, I found a new Nintendo 2DS XL. So I found this right here. It looks pretty cool. I'm actually really surprised how much I like this variation of the system. When you open this up, you do have the blue kind of turquoise buttons on this. And I really like the style of this design. The box is not in mint shape, but I found this in my hometown. So not only did I get the system, I also picked up 3 games with it. So the games that came with it I already have in my collection, but I'm going to mention them. This is Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask 3D, of course, and Pokemon Moon. So all of that, with the system and the games, I found for, I think it was 90 Canadian, so call it around $60 to $70 American. Really good deal. So now I have these 3 games I could either sell off, or I could use as trade bait to try and get something else that's really cool in the collection. So I thought that was worth it. Basically, I was really after the system, and to find the console for around $65, $70, I thought now I can sell off those games or trade them away and basically get the system for free. That's how a lot of collectors like me try and get collections slowly over time, basically, trying to save our money. I'm just going to leave this kind of front and center, and I'm not really sure where to put the system, so we're going to put it right there. Perfect. Next up, of course, is the Nintendo Switch. So I got Super Mario 3D All-Stars. I did buy a few copies of this game, and I'll tell you why. One for me, one for my wife to play, and one to keep factory sealed because it is no longer going to be sold after March in 2021. This is kind of similar to the Mario All-Stars on the Nintendo Wii, that it had a limited release, but this time they actually said when it ends. Stores around my area still have tons of copies of these, so I'm not that sure how smart it is to buy multiple copies and keep one sealed. I'm only guessing over time that it will go up in value. For me, the best of these three on the Switch is Super Mario Galaxy. The other two still don't have an update for the camera controls. They're inverted, and I just can't quite get over how to control Mario in those two games. If you would like to know my entire opinion and review of this, I did do a video review of this. Again, there's a card in the top right-hand corner to check that out. And then, I don't think I've ever shown this before in my pickups video, so this is Pokemon Sword and Shield. This comes with the Steelbook. I didn't have the Steelbook variation, I had the smaller box variation that just came with Dynamax Crystals, the code for them, so I thought I would get this as well. If I did mention that in a previous pickups video, just let me know, because I don't want to repeat myself all the time. Sticking with the Switch, I found these controllers, finally they were in stock and I was able to buy these. These are the Switch Online Super Nintendo Entertainment System controllers so that you can finally play games on the Super Nintendo the proper way on the Switch, but wirelessly. You were able to order up to 4 of these from the Nintendo store, so I did order 4 of them. 2 of them I want to trade away, and someone contacted me. They were in Australia, and they said that they had the variation that's from the Super Famicom, and they wanted to do a trade for one of these, and I can't find your contact information anywhere. I'm not sure if it was on Instagram, or email, or on Facebook, or what they messaged me. So if you have this variation, but it's a Super Famicom color, let me know, and I'm willing to trade, just straight trade, 1-to-1 basically for it. So these were pretty cool, and they're really hard to get in stock. There's been several times where I tried to order these, and it said that Nintendo had them in stock. When I went through the ordering process, it kept failing. And then finally, it looked like it failed, but it actually succeeded, and I was able to get this in my collection as well. So I have a few of those now that I can actually play properly, which is wicked. Other kind of accessories that I got completely randomly, this was $4 Canadian, so like $3 American. This is the maracas for playing Samba, and this is from the Nintendo Wii. So I'm not even sure if these are the official ones from Sega, but you can see here on the back, it does show you that it's supposed to be for the Nintendo Wii. The guy that I was buying R.O.B the Robot from, he had this, and I thought I'm going to get this. It's $4, I don't really feel like I'm going wrong with this. I'm not sure how much I'll be playing it. You can hear them inside though. It's like ASMR video almost. So yeah, kind of crazy weird item to have. Let's throw that up there, sure. For $4, yeah, let's get it. Alright, other cool things that I got, that's kind of moving towards the end here. I found the box for this Skylanders Swap Force Wii U. This is the box, and it comes with all the figurines already. So the Wii U, the white Wii U, is the rarest variation. I am now after a loose console, so just the console on its own, with the gamepad with all of the cords, because this cost $30. That was it. And I thought, you know, Wii U right now, it's cheap, it's not that expensive. If I can find the box for stuff, I'm usually just after the different color variations for different systems, and I already have a white Wii U, but at $30, I figured I could at least throw this entire bundle together at some point, and maybe try and trade this away, because I think the white Wii U will be the one that's the most expensive out of the white and the black. Of course, the Zelda edition will be the most expensive, but I thought this one is kind of really weird, the white Wii U. It doesn't have that much storage on it. It only has 8 GB storage. Yeah, it says right here on the box. 8 GB storage. Awesome. That's less than a game today, so you can't even put a game on it. Interestingly, I tried to put on Breath of the Wild onto a white system for the Wii U, and it wouldn't even work, because the system just couldn't even handle it. I'm just going to leave this kind of, I guess, off to the side, but it's an empty box anyways. Next up, I want to thank Yannick for bringing this to my attention. Yannick's been someone that I communicate with online for a really long time. He's been a good fan for a long time. So this was a one-day sale at EB Games, better known as GameStop, a place that I don't like shopping at, but once Yannick let me know that this one went on sale for one day, it was $30 Canadian. So this was normally $80 Canadian. I think in the US it's $60. So for that one day, I was able to find it. This was the last, I think this is the last Labo that I needed out of the 4. Actually, no. The one that's the VR set, I need like the larger VR set. I just have like the base version of that one. So $30 Canadian, yeah, definitely worth it. Around 22 American or something like that. I'm probably not going to build this one. I might wait for my nephew to grow up a little more or to eventually have children and actually build this. But it looks crazy cool. Such a ridiculous thing to have on the system. It's really quite a large box to kind of keep in your collection as well. A lot of the special editions are huge, but this one is just crazy. Fits perfectly right there. Alright, next up is some World of Nintendo stuff and some other little knickknacks that are Nintendo themed that I was able to find. So this is a World of Nintendo plush, as it says right there. It's white Pikmin. This one is not brand new. It is used. You can see that it has a little bit of dirt on it, essentially. So I do want to find this eventually brand new with the tag still on. Not this tag, but the tag that says white Pikmin. But this one's so rare, and it's the only Pikmin one I'm missing. I already have the purple, the blue, the yellow, and the red, so I really wanted to get all of them for my collection. Now I'm only missing like 4 or 5 plush for World of Nintendo. The last one I got was Cat Mario, so now I have the white Pikmin, and I'm missing just a few others, like I think Fire Luigi, and the Koopa Troopa, and a few others, but maybe the blue Yoshi as well. Yeah. Sticking with World of Nintendo, locally, for like, I don't even know if it was $2 each. I found this one is Tetra with the open ocean from Wind Waker, and also for like $2 was Ganondorf with Hyrule Castle. So these ones, it looks like they were sold at Dollarama for $4 each. It's crazy how they went from being in normal stores and now they're being sold in Dollarama for just a few dollars, and I paid half of $4. So that was really cool, kind of worth it. I mean, these sets are really tiny. They're not great for small kids because some of the items like Tetra are so small. And I wish they would release more of these because there are some out for Mario, but they only did half of New Super Mario Bros. U, and then they stopped making them. I wish that we had the whole game, every single world for those. Another Legend of Zelda item that kind of came in that set for $1. This is a Link Pez dispenser, or at least a Link Click is what it's called. I don't even know if I want this. $1, says right there. So I'm not even sure if I really want this in my collection, but he had it, and it was just all part of his Zelda-themed stuff. So just threw it in. It was $1. So let me know what you think about these kinds of things. Really, like, Click seems like a Pez ripoff to me, but hey, it's got Link's face on it. Some people love that kind of stuff. I'll probably trade that away at some point, or maybe give it to someone that really wants it more than I do. I don't usually have a lot of those things in my collection that I keep. Other cool knickknacks to go along with it, we have the tin for the Hyrule Shield. It says $4 on this, so there's Zelda mints, but it wasn't, because I got this in a bundle. I think actually all the Zelda stuff. So the 2 World of Nintendo micro sets, this as well, was like $10 in total. So that was probably $1, basically. Then the guy had some other cool little items. So he had a little small, even smaller than the Game Boy Advance. This holds candy in it, and it's still factory sealed. So he was asking $3 for this, but I got it in a bundle. And then also a mini Wii console. So talk about mini consoles that are for sale. This one had a GameStop gift card in it originally, so I guess it was like a Christmas gift idea. I just think it's kind of neat to have on the Wii shelf. I'm not sure if I'll keep these forever, but I have a GameCube that's mini, that you hit a button and a Double Dash song comes on from Mario Kart. So I thought, yeah, I'm going to get these as well while I'm there. These are kind of just really stupid purchases that are just kind of cool items to me at the time, just because I'm finding things locally. I also found Rush from the same guy, and I posted a picture of all this stuff on Instagram a little while ago, but Rush was worth it. He was like $3. I have a bit of a Mega Man set going, and I love the Mega Man games, especially Mega Man X, so I thought I would get Rush. And the last thing for this video is something that I highly recommend everyone else try and find if they can find it locally. This is one of these sets of the 9 Pokemon evolutions from one of the original games. So this is from, I guess, from Gold and Silver, of course. We also have this exact same style of packaging from Tommy for the first generation. So you have Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle. And then from the 3rd generation, they have this set as well. So this one was another one-day sale. It was $24.29 for me. Again, Canadian. So like $18, $16 to $18 American. These things on eBay are selling for triple to quadruple that easily. And they're really hard to search for because there's no actual name on this, exactly what it is. It's mostly just black packaging with the pictures of all the characters, but it does say Tommy on it. So if you wanted to find it on eBay, you can probably search for like 9-pack Evolution Tommy figure set or something like that. Because if you can find this at GameStop or EB Games, I had them call or at least try and contact online all the other stores in my local area. This was the only one within a 100-kilometer radius. And I found it and I was really happy to get this. So this is now going to be a trading piece because I already have all 3 of these factory sealed, the first 3 generations, and I wish they would make them for every generation. And I know anything Tommy like this goes way up in value over time. So if you can find this for like $20 locally, get it. It will at least be a really cool trading piece that you can have, or it's a really neat item to have in your collection. Let me know what your favorite item is from all of my pickups for the month of September. My personal favorite item is R.O.B the Robot. I've been waiting 12 years to get him, so that's so exciting to finally add him to my collection. Let me know what your pickups were for the last month or the last little while, what your thoughts are on Super Mario 3D All-Stars, and if anyone has a trade for me for the Super Famicom for my copy of the Super Nintendo Entertainment System controller for the Nintendo Switch, let me know as a comment below. Thanks for watching. Feel free to fill the like bucket by clicking the like button below. Subscribe to the channel if you don't. I try and post videos on Wednesdays and Sundays around 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Go collect them all. Keep smiling while gaming. Stay awesome, everyone, and stay safe.